Hello and welcome to FP Direct. I'm Farooq Patafi. Today we are going to talk about ICJ, the preliminary verdict on Gaza. And it is important because it actually qualifies certain things that I've been saying for quite some time since the whole thing actually started. But first of all, I think the fact that 15 judges out of 17 actually ruled in favor of the motion is very heartening. It shows that international system still has some life left in it, right? And then it is also important to remember that while the ceasefire, request was not granted, but we see that a direct call to Israel to stop, measures which may actually be deemed genocidal is very heartening. So this is important. Then one aspect that I have to actually point out that because Israel hasn't stopped its action and because things are looking bleaker by the day, one has to actually talk about what it means for Israel and what I've been saying for quite some time. But before that, let us also praise South Africa for its moral leadership because they have taken this case to ICJ. And it reminds me of a beautiful song that was Give Me Hope, Joanna, right? And that seems that this country has the same spirit to keep on fighting for justice. So kudos to them. But let us come back to Israel and what it means for Israel. When October 7 incident took place, terror attacks took place, I condemned them and I categorically, criticized them, unconditionally criticized them because murder of anyone is murder, and that is not acceptable, right? Civilians should not be asked to pay the price of policies of their leaders. But at that time, I also pointed out that Benjamin Netanyahu, instead of actually recovering the hostages through intelligence or other means, will launch an action that will actually attack civilians because he will also keep on invoking the angry images in mind, right? And because of that, his targets will be abstract. And because those abstract targets cannot be easily achieved, a war will continue for quite some time. And as a result of that, because Benjamin Netanyahu is very unpopular, last time we checked, the opinion polls were showing, approval rating of somewhere around 7%. So he is going to actually expose Israel to international condemnation. International system might be broken, but it can there's so much it can tolerate, right? At this moment, everyone is paying attention to what is going on in Gaza, and nobody believes that those innocent citizens that are being killed are terrorists, especially the kids, elderly, and women. So he will keep on exposing Israel to international ire, and right now, it is a question whether it is a genocide or not. But the patience will eventually run out. But because as long as war continues, nobody is going to ask Netanyahu to actually leave. It will cover his failures also. For example, he has built a far right, a hard right coalition, and that coalition had only one purpose to ensure that Israeli lives are saved. And Israeli intelligence is also known for its competence, right? All over the world, they have taken actions. There are books that have been written. For example, this book called Rise and Kill First. There are 18 others. But there's ample evidence to show that they're very competent. Instead of using them, sending the cavalry, sending the air power to actually kill people, what does it do? It actually creates a cycle of violence, which suits Benjamin Netanyahu, right? because if that continues to happen, nobody is asking him to leave. And as long as he stays in power, he has a way to actually arm twist the Supreme Court to get the kind of approval of his new amendments that are being protested against. And he can evade accountability for his alleged corruption also. So that is exactly what is happening. At that time, I told everyone that I'd written column, I'd actually spoken on television, that the world will have to actually start paying attention. An international order has certain soft spots for certain countries, but there's so much they can tolerate. And because Netanyahu continues to do it, and on the other side, Hamas does the same thing. I mean, somebody is going to hold Hamas accountable for the kind of war that it invited or brought on its own people. But regardless, as long as hardliners are fighting, they are winning also. They are winning not wars, but they are winning the ability to stay in power, because broken people don't opt for different leaders. Usually during wars, countries don't change their leaders. So this is important to remember, that for Israel, no matter how much deflection you employ, no matter you try to actually confuse anti-Semitism with anti-Zionism or anti Benjamin Netanyahu, in the end, it is something that is going to hurt Israel itself, and of course, it is hurting the Palestinians too, and it will continue to hurt other countries as well. It is small mercy that we haven't seen war actually spilling out into other regions. This world at this moment is full of is like a powder keg, so anything could explode. Small mercies that that hasn't happened, but there have been attempts, right? We have seen how the international waters actually came under attack. We have seen how various countries might actually try to play up the situation. But at this moment, what ICJ has done, it has actually restored my faith in the international system, and it has also reminded us how deadly and lethal Netanyahu is for his own people. Can you believe that a country that built its reputation, a government that built its reputation on its electronic surveillance, its fencing and all, and ability to contain Palestinians, blinked so hard that so many people were killed in one day? So if that was failure, it was, I mean, after that kind of failure, countries should change their leader, but that accountability will not come till the time this war doesn't end. So Benjamin Netanyahu is risking the existence of his nation that he proclaims he is defending, and he is risking the safety of his own people. And because there is a spiral, I mean, when you see the international media's coverage or other media's coverage, Arab or Muslim world's media's coverage, you don't hear the Jewish people who are protesting in Washington, in New York, against Benjamin Netanyahu's war. They only see that Israeli people, might be celebrating, or at least some segments might be. So that actually further becomes an ammunition and fuels, fire of hate. Let us hope in coming days sanity prevails and people find a way to get rid of both Netanyahu and Hamas. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.